So I'm delighted to be joined by Garry, who is the producer of Tom. Garry was one of our first three winners when we launched the competition in 2018. How are you doing, Garry?
Good, I'm really well, thank you. Yeah, keeping good.
Good stuff, good to hear. It's good to have you on our face-to-face series. With lockdown, I suppose the best place to start, or the only place to start, is sort of how have you found the situation, and sort of what have you been up to during this period?
It's been quite good actually. It's given me quite a lot of space to be able to delve into some of my development projects on my slate and just kind of keep things ticking over, and also working on content which got really busy just at the start of lockdown. Luckily, I've been working with some clients on some projects, which has been really good because yeah, just kind of keeping busy and pushing things forward really.
Positive. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the feedback, a lot of the people that I've been speaking to have given similar feedback in that it's a good time. This period is a good time to almost allow them to do a bit of writing. I mean, Alfie, who's sort of in our first series, he touched on that he found it a good opportunity to get some of his writing done and focus on that during this period, in this couple of months. So I suppose with you focusing on the development slate that you've got, a very similar position.
Yeah. I'm not the type to sit still really, so it's an interesting one when you actually are forced to sit still, but it could still keep very busy, which is a good thing.
Oh, 100%. A bit of thinking time and a bit of a pause from the usual madness of the world that we live in. Yeah, positive. I think it has been huge for me, and also getting in a bit of a routine for exercise as well, which is always good from a mental point of view. So as well as a physical, obviously. So I just wanted to touch back. I mean, you would have seen the launch of our latest short film competition. I just wanted to look back to November 2018 when you won your award, and it's almost sort of how you reflect on that and almost what you've been up to since.
So it was great to win the award on the night. It was just it's quite surprising because there were so many amazing films in the competition, and just to even come together and celebrate that was a really great and positive thing, because we'd made the film probably about a year before, so it'd done the festival circuit, and then we put it into the competition as part of that, and that was just a really nice end to the whole festival run really. And then since then, continuing to just keep on producing content and making sure that keeping active outside of just developing as well, because a lot of development is kind of it's quite intense sometimes, but then you feel like we're just doing paper and we're moving paper around a lot, making stories, but the stories you really just want to get to the screen. So I spent quite a lot of time after that November kind of making more films really, and making more content, making sure that keeping those skills as sharp as we possibly can whilst we develop the feature stuff. And yeah, just the most recent project I shot was November last year, 2019, and that was a short film commissioned by the British Council and the BFI called Nowhere, and that was shot out in Israel. So that was kind of a big project to kind of take on and run with in the Middle East and tell that story.
And I think that was the project that you used the prize for as well. So
that's right.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you hired some kit from promotion. So
there was it was such a complicated film to make, in that getting kit out into the Middle East and crew and all sorts of things. So basically what the prize was that there was lots of things that were in that prize that were really beneficial. And because Tom was produced with another producer and a director, we kind of split the prize so that it was fair, but also I couldn't utilize some of the things. So we originally started going to promotion saying, right, we'll take the kit with us across, and then it just became really, really complicated. And they were so brilliant at trying to make it work, but in terms of the finances we had to make the film, it just was never going to work. So it was nice to keep in touch with them because they've been brilliant in Manchester. So I was kind of working with their London office and and just keeping in touch with them to try and make it work. But I couldn't just physically make it work, even though they bent over backwards to help us. And I was really appreciative of that. But also, all parts of the prizes. Sorry.
Yeah, go on. No. I was just going to ask about because I know you did the post with
Goldcrest, yeah. And that was a massive part of the prize. And yeah, they were just amazing. Like, the film would not have got finished without how kind they were and how, you know, meticulous they were at kind of helping it get over the line, really, because by then we'd spent out on the project. It was on its like last legs. So they took us in and kind of looked after us and made sure it actually got finished. So that was a big key to the success of actually getting the film to a place where there's a DCP now and it could be played out in cinemas, and it's starting its festival run now and going out there into the world, which is good. But obviously right now that's trickier because a lot of festivals are kind of not sure exactly how the festival's going to run. Some stuff's going online, so it's uncertain. But you know, without that support, we wouldn't have been able to get it out there. So that was a huge part of it. Also, you know, making connections on the night, and part of the prize was reviewed and cleared.
Yes.
And we haven't specifically worked with them on this project, I don't think, but I've definitely worked with them on a couple of others and just made a really good relationship with them. So it was great to have that prize to be able to then just actually make a relationship and, you know, continue to work with them. And they've been amazing as well on quick fire, like legal questions and working through some of the producer stuff that you have to do super quick. So I've really appreciated that. And also, you know, we had a cash prize as well, which we split into two. So that money's gone quite far, really. Particularly when my budget for the Israeli short was not great. So that really helped, having that invoice in and that money coming in when we were sitting out in the Middle East pretty broke.
It's brilliant. Look, I wish you the sort of the best of luck on the festival circuit.
Thank you.
With that, and do keep us informed along the way as well. Look, thank you for your time. I just sort of wanted to end on one final question. And I mean, it's the same question I asked Alfie in the first episode, but what's the best bit of advice that you've received, or what if you had to give one piece of advice to filmmakers or producers, what would it be?
I think my ethos from day one has always been just to keep making, just do it, whether you know, having the support of others around in terms of like the financiers or anything like that. Films could be made on a shoestring, and if you've got a story to tell, just go on and do it. It's I'd never picked up a camera until I was like 19, so I didn't know anything about film, and kind of like self-taught a lot of things around it, because we were never brought up in that environment where cameras were just accessible and stuff like that. So I just made it within my kind of personal goals, just to be able to tell stories with whatever I had around me, and if that kit was terrible or it was a rubbish phone or whatever. If you've got a story to tell, just go on and do it, because it's about the content and your kind of drive and the talent that you have with you that are going to make that story get out there, not necessarily about having the best camera or the best lights or anything like that. So you can just tell stories, and if you believe in them, go out and get that done.
There we have it. A great piece of advice there. Okay, that's brilliant. Well, look, thanks for your time, Garry. For anyone that wants to follow Garry on socials, his social details will be on screen now. We'll speak to you soon, Garry. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Take care.